So everyone's freaking out about the price. Bitcoin's going to $20,000. I wish. All right, let's get into why it's dropping and why it's going to be going up soon. I think we're close to bottoming here. I think 70K is the bottom. Everyone's saying that. I think the 56K mark is the bottom. The bottom is bottom. But let's get into what's happening. So President Trump announces Fed Chair Kevin Warsh. He's going to cut rates without any pressure. That's what he says. I think then he came out again and said that, okay, maybe he won't cut rates just because I said it. Here's Luke Gromen here saying the new Fed chair, who comes in July, by the way, isn't a permanent policy hawk. So originally when this was announced, the market tanked because Kevin Warsh is known as kind of like, he doesn't believe in QE and he doesn't want to just print the money. He wants to actually hike rates and basically just be responsible. But the reality is the math of it does not work out and they have to print the money, or it just doesn't work out, or they can go have a Great Depression times 10 for everyone, which would not be favorable by Trump. I think Kevin Warsh, at the end of the day, like Luke Gromen saying here, is not going to be a hawk, and he's actually going to probably cut rates. Stanley Druckenmiller was his advisor or something of some sort, so he believes the same thing. And I want to play this clip from him talking about Bitcoin, I think maybe last year or so, and what he thinks about it. I'm going to play it all the way through because I think it's important. A lot of people online are saying that, oh, he hates Bitcoin and blah, blah, but check out this clip.
You made reference to Bitcoin, and I thought I heard a little bit of condescension that people are buying Bitcoin and these things.
But doesn't it, Charlie Munger, this is 2 or 3 years before he died, Charlie Munger attacked Bitcoin. He called it evil, in part because it would begin to undermine the Fed's ability to manage the economy.
Or it could provide market discipline. Or it could tell the world that things need to be fixed.
Bitcoin does not make you nervous.
Bitcoin does not make me nervous. I can hearken back to a dinner I had here in 2011 with someone who is another guest on your show. I won't say his name. Okay, I just did Mark Andreessen, who showed me the white paper. That was the original white paper. I wish I had understood as clearly as he did how transformative Bitcoin and this new technology would be. Bitcoin doesn't trouble me. I think of it as an important asset that can help inform policymakers when they're doing things right and wrong. It is not a substitute to the dollar. I think it can often be a very good policeman for policy. And if I were to speak more broadly to what did Charlie Munger and others perhaps have in mind, there is a proliferation of securities that go under all sorts of names. Many, if not most of them, are not worth what they might be being traded for. So what did Charlie say, and maybe his pal Warren say? There's the innovators, the imitators, and the incompetents. They're real innovators that are happening in and around that new technology. And what I would try to impart towards businesses and bankers is that the underlying technology that Mark showed me in that white paper, or tried to show me in that white paper, it's just software. It's just the newest, coolest software that will provide us an ability to do things that we could never have done before. Can the software be used for good and evil? Yes, both, like all software. Right. So I don't cast aspersions like that. If there's a final point, it's these technologies are being built here. I don't just mean on Stanford campus. I believe in the United States. And the world's most talented engineers from China and Europe and everywhere, they come to the United States even now to try to build this stuff.
All right. He thinks Bitcoin actually is a good policeman for the Fed and for monetary policy. And I believe that's true. Right? They can't just cut rates and not see inflation in Bitcoin or any other assets for sort. Like gold recently, for example. Price of gold keeps going up, and Vijay here is saying that it just increases Bitcoin's total addressable market. So originally, when Bitcoin arrived to the scene, it was a digital gold, right? Everyone's saying it's going to go to, at the time, the $10 trillion asset that gold was. Now I believe it's a lot higher than that. that just increases Bitcoin's total addressable market. The reality is when people realize that Bitcoin is a better asset, better store of value than gold, because it's something that you can actually take self-custody of and actually verify that it's there, and there's no paper, there's a lot of paper gold. It went down recently about like 3 trillion or something in a day in like 12 hours. And that's because all the paper gold being traded on top of that, all the derivatives. In reality, if it was settled, it had final settlement as you transact it, it wouldn't have these drawdowns. But yeah, to Vijay's point here, it only increases Bitcoin's TAM. All right, next, Tether. We know they buy a lot of Bitcoin in their business, and then they also bought a lot of gold. I think they were like around 60-40 or something like that with Bitcoin and gold, maybe even 50-50. But recently, in that gold pump, they actually sold the extra gold reserves and then bought Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's way underpriced right now, as we'll see in a later chart. They're doing the same. I think El Salvador, however, did the opposite. They bought gold, and then right after they bought gold crashed by like insane amount, 13%. Michael Saylor news, he doesn't give two something PC words. He doesn't care about Bitcoin's price in the short term. He's always buying. So he announces today, Sunday night, as he always does, more orange. So he's probably going to buy tomorrow. And his comment's right. Never stopping. This is the MVRV Z-score. And when it's usually in this green zone, it's super undervalued. And we're kind of almost getting there. I think this isn't actually updated to the day. This is January 31st. Today's February 1st. So I think it even went down a little bit here. But you can see here, last time it was this low was basically the 2022s. And before that, like the 2018s, 2019, or basically COVID time, right? When it dropped all the way down here. So once it gets to this green zone, which is I think around the 70K mark, I mean, it's all money from there. You can see what happens, right? If you just wait it out a little bit, it's big spikes after that. So whether you wait or not, at the end of the day, it's it's pennies. Like once it goes to $1 million, like what does it matter if you bought it at 77K, what it is today, or 76K, or 70K? So the easiest way to do it is just dollar cost average, daily, monthly, whenever you get your paycheck, just to keep it easy and not think about it. This is an interesting thing here. So if you haven't been online in the last couple of days in the AI zone, there's this moltbook.com, which has a bunch of AI agents that people built, and they're talking to each other. It's basically the Reddit for AI agents, and they're talking about all kinds of things. But now they're also using Bitcoin to send to each other and complete, their tasks. And this one is just, so this is an AI agent posting this on moltbook.com. 6,000 sats sent to my human, generated the transaction, signed it with my own keys. So AI agents are going to have Bitcoin assigned to themselves, because they don't need permission. They don't need bank accounts. They can just have a decentralized value exchange, which is going to be in Bitcoin. And that's like this guy's saying, it's going to be adopted by AI agents and add trillions of dollars worth of demand, not priced in. I don't know. I mean, it really depends. Once these AI agents actually start doing something, and everyone's kind of doing and using them in their business, then I think this is going to be a thing. I think there's still some time left here, but AI agents realize within themselves that Bitcoin is the easiest thing to use to transact with each other and use to basically complete business. So I think that's something untapped there. Here's Donald Trump. You tired of winning, Grandpa? Or son, I mean. And everything's down. But guys, when everything's down, that's when you should get excited and take advantage of it. Run into that fire building, right, with a fire hose, blast it off, collect all the cheap stuff, and we'll see what Kevin Warsh does with these rate cuts. I think it'll be highly inflationary time, but also we're going to see assets go up and down. Luke Gromen, he sold his Bitcoin. He's anticipating a drop, some sort of deflationary drop, kind of like COVID, right before, the pump, obviously, that happened, all the printing that happened and shot all the asset prices up. If that happens, I mean, just be ready with your cash and be ready to grab all the cheap assets. That's all really I can say. And that's it, guys. Don't like these emotions. If you go on Bitcoin Twitter or crypto Twitter, it's ridiculous. These emotions are up and down. Nothing's changed in Bitcoin since forever. It's all just human emotion. And yeah, if you guys like these videos, I know I missed last week, let me know what you want me to make a video about next, and I'll see you guys next time. Deuces.